breached and that big?
It didn't have a shot. Buddy, I'm sorry. I tried my best. That sucked.
I'm sorry, Ann.
Having livestock is not for the faint of heart. Farmers have to have soft hearts, but have them ready to be broken. We raise dairy goats and beef cattle here on the farm, and kidding season this year started and ended with some really, really tough moments. I always try to be the best steward of my animals, and that involves doing a ton of research and being prepared for the worst, but sometimes all the preparation in the world can't really prepare you for what's actually going to happen. This year I bred 6 Nigerian Dwarf does in hopes of having milk for our community. Though I've been raising goats for 5 years, I've never had more than 2 does in milk at one time. But because we started doing the dairy cows this year, I figured, we were ready for more. We're on Baby Watch 2020 and I've been watching Dolly Parton like a hawk, expecting that she was going to be the first one to kid, but really, Aretha Franklin back there is, I think, going to be the first one to go. I really hoped that, it all just happened in, 1, 2, 3 days. It would be a pretty chaotic 3 days. That's definitely not how it ended up happening. I think they ended up spreading it out over 14 days, maybe 12. I don't really know. I'm so tired, you guys. This is awesome and I love it. And I'm so, thankful for even having the opportunity to be able to do this. But, it's been 12 days. Sunday night, Aretha goes into labor. I'm in here with Aretha now. We've got our little birthing chart. We've got some chaff hay and some other minerals for her. Got a nice warm bucket of molasses water. These lights from Premier One are great because they emit heat without making as much of a risk for fire in your barns. And of course, I have some homemade hay here, and she's just started pushing, so that is very, very exciting. And goat labor usually goes pretty quick, so usually if they're pushing for a long time, then it's a pretty good sign that there's something wrong. I've had breech babies before, but never anything like what ended up happening. My friend Kate, the modern day settler, is only ever just a phone call away, and she's my guru for all things farm. So as soon as I realized something was wrong, I called Kate and talked to her on FaceTime, and there's not really anything you can do 8 states away over the phone, but she did, talk me through some things, like pushing the baby back in and trying to get a hold of its back legs, because in a breech situation, the baby is just basically all folded up this way, so it's just too big to come out. So in a breech situation, usually what you do is you try to get one of the legs and flip it around so that it can pull out. But with this baby, I just couldn't find the legs. I lubed up, I reached in with my glove, and I felt all around, but all I could feel was body. I moved the baby around a little bit, pushed it back in between contractions and tried to re-maneuver it, but she kept pushing, and I kept trying to help her, and my concern about Aretha being able to make it through the delivery really, really grew. Ultimately, just the absolute worst happened. I was able to finally get the leg out, but the baby was just too big. And so with goats, those little babies, they're so fragile, so you want to be really careful with them. But ultimately, it came to the point that I really just had to, with her contractions, just pull on the baby's body just to get it out. And it was, in fact, still alive, but in the pulling process, it had broken a leg, and it was so deformed that it wouldn't, even if I had been able to save it or anything else, it wouldn't have had a good life.
I'm sorry. That sucked.
I'm sorry, Ann.
So after working so hard to save Aretha's life, and having the baby being born deformed but still alive, and then having to put it down, that's not good for a farmer's heart. But what sucked so much more is showing her the dead baby and having her realize that it had passed. And I always want the best for my animals, and so watching her realize that her baby was dead, and then also realize that was it for this year, that she'd been pregnant for 5 months, and that she didn't then get to raise a baby. She just sat stood in her stall so stoically for all night, and I kept checking in on her on the barn cameras, and it was the saddest thing just watching her stand there. But then 12 hours later, Dolly Parton, my other goat, goes into labor and she delivers one healthy kid after another, and halfway through her birth I was like, oh my gosh, what if we were to just take one of the babies straight from Dolly's womb and just give it to Aretha and see if Aretha would take care of it. Here, do you want me to bring a fresh one over there, Mom? And just give her the opportunity to lick it off, and then you want to switch me maybe? Aretha starts licking it. Literally within an hour, this baby has become Aretha's. He's starting to nurse. And it's a little baby girl. Oh my gosh. Yes. And look at her. Oh, so sweet. This, I mean, is just the absolute best. Ooh, the best ending. Now look at us. She's got her baby. And they're both healthy. I really couldn't ask for anything more. I named Aretha's baby Tanya Tucker because she's a fighter just like her mom. And I think because it's 2020 and everyone really needed some good news, this story reached far and wide. In fact, it got all the way to the real Tanya Tucker.
Hey, Ann. Boy, that Tanya Tucker is so cute. This one's pretty cute too, what do you think? Say Stella hi. She likes that baby goat.
Dolly has 3 kids of her own. She doesn't even care. She doesn't even notice. She doesn't even know that it happened. The relationship that I've seen Aretha develop with Tanya Tucker, her daughter, is unbelievable. It's probably one of the most heartwarming things I've ever seen. The funniest thing about it is that, like, obviously Tanya Tucker has no idea. Aretha has no idea. Dolly Parton has no idea. All the siblings have no idea. But Aretha is so protective over this baby and just dotes after it and watches it all the time and follows it around and makes sure that it's safe, and she cuddles with it all the time. But like, if any of the other goats come anywhere near her or her baby, she's like, absolutely not. I think that's why farmers have such a tender heart. They see the hard, impossible moments, and we cry along with our animals. And then that makes those sweet moments so much sweeter. Farmers have to be tough and tender at the same time. Our animals rely on us and we rely on them, and we need to have tough gear to support the tough stuff that we're doing on the farm. And that's why I absolutely love Ariat products. As you can see, these boots have been through a whole lot of life with me. Growing up in Montana, cowboy boots were just kind of par for the course. I even wore these things on my wedding day. So when Ariat decided to sponsor what we're doing here on the farm, I couldn't have been happier because I stand by the products that they make. They've got comfort and quality, and they're built to last. If you would like to see some of my favorite Ariat products, check out the link below and you can get 10% off of your first order. If you're not a monster and you like videos of baby goats, make sure you click this video and prepare for your heart to explode. I'll see you there.